right, welcome everybody to One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. We are thankful to have you on with us tonight, this first Monday in January of 2022. I can't believe that's happening. Jay Gill, how did it become 2022 all of a sudden?
I don't know. I feel like I blink and the days just go by. It's crazy. Not only is it 2022, Dad, we're already on January 3rd. We're done with our third day of
Yeah,
2022. So
it's
the
almost.
time is already flying by.
So what you're saying is it's almost 2023.
It, don't blink, you'll miss it.
All
Don't blink,
right,
you'll miss it.
all right, good.
The grayer I get, the quicker time goes. I'll tell you that.
Well, I will have to say the gray is a little different than the white that I saw in your beard this past weekend. If anybody wants to check out that, go to Jay Gill's Facebook page and you can see his beard was literally covered in snow.
Hey, you should have had that picture ready. You could have thrown it on
I should
screen.
have.
I wouldn't have been mad. Yeah.
I still
I don't
might
know
do
what you
that.
were thinking. Okay. Yeah, no, here in Colorado, you get some snow. That's just an opportunity for friends to invite you over, hook your sleds up to the back of four-wheelers and start dragging some kids around. And
Start
at some point
driving.
I was and at some point I said, "Why don't you go? I want to get drug around too. Let me hop in the back." And I went no face mask, just straight sitting there, snow flying in my face. By the time we got done, I was very cold and covered in snow. It was frozen all over my beard. Like I couldn't get it off. I had to get just water and put water. Oh,
I
you
mean,
muted
you.
me.
I know. I don't
There
know
I
what I
am.
did. I hit the wrong button.
Okay,
I
you're
was. I
fine.
guess. I guess I was. I guess I was thinking tiny violinist. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I had a really good time. It was one of the funnest experiences for me in the snow, even though it was freezing cold. It was like 10 degrees. We had an absolute blast. It was so much fun.
Wow. It. I was looking at it and I was thinking, I'm good here in Missouri without all that snow. I mean, how many? You had 5 inches, wasn't that right?
Yeah, I think 7 by the time the weekend was done. Yeah, we had 7 just here in Montrose, and this is not a lot of snow. We did not get a lot. They cleaned the roads up pretty well here, but I mean, you go over to like the top of the Grand Mesa. Dad, you've seen the Grand Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
For the year, they're at 215 inches for the year already.
215 inches. That's
You know,
ridiculous.
you hear them do that. I don't know why they put it in inches because I'm always like, well, what is that? Oh, that's only 18 feet. Don't worry.
That's
That's fine.
awesome. Hey,
So yeah.
Don, thanks for joining us. And yeah, that's a pretty cool hat. I was asking him about that. That looks pretty awesome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Jay?
This hat is Delta Building Center. That is my awesome place of employment. Don Wingard, that's my general manager. Uh, he's my jefe, my boss. My goal is just to make that man happy every day. So
All
I
right.
fail miserably. I always get yelled at for failing, but I mean, hey, you got to try, right? I got to make sure he's got to be a little stressed. He is the general
Uh-huh.
manager, so
Sure. It's cool. He's checking up on you here. That's good. See what that guy
he
does
is. He
outside of
is.
work. That's good. Well,
Oh
hey.
yeah, he thinks I'm on bowling nights.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm kidding.
Hey, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with some of the stuff that is happening in sports? And
Yeah,
you've got a
absolutely.
bunch of
We're gonna.
stuff I know you wanted to talk about, so go to
Oh
it.
yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll get started with some local hot takes. So, basketball. When we talked last Monday, I was super excited about all of the basketball tournaments going on in Jefferson City. You have the Joe Mockins Classic 8 tournament going on. You also had the Holiday Hoops title that the lady basketball players were playing in, and I mean it was just an awesome. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. It was just an awesome week for basketball sports and highlights. And so, like I told you, I was super excited last week. The big matchup going into that tournament was Blair Oaks versus Father Tolton. And as I told you last week, I got to spoil it for you guys. If you didn't know, Blair Oaks did win that game. and we're going to catch up and see how they did the rest of the tournament. But first, we're going to highlight some other sports. So just a little bit of teaser for you. Girls basketball, Fatima played the Licking Lady Wildcats. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Dad. Licking Lady Wildcats. But anyways,
You got it. That's it.
boom.
You got it.
From Lick. Okay. Well, the Fatima Lady Comets, they had a dominant first half Wednesday. They ended up defeating the Wildcats 59-33, and that was at the Rolla Holiday Tournament. So again, more just tournaments. We're all going crazy last week. Um, Girls basketball, New Bloomfield, they played Sturgeon Lady Bulldogs. And so the New Bloomfield Lady Wildcats, they finished the 2021 portion of their schedule on a 5-game win streak. And they accomplished that, winning that 5th game on Thursday against the Sturgeon Lady Bulldogs, 53-43. So huge shout out to New Bloomfield. I love when I get to see our local schools have
Mm-hmm.
awesome win streaks like this. So they're starting to click, and the chemistry's gelling really well there. So shout out to them. Boys basketball, the New Bloomfield Wildcats played the Sturgeon Bulldogs, and boys as well. New Bloomfield is down actually a couple starters, so that did not do too well for Sturgeon. They ended up losing that game 67-52, and that was in the Peak Sport and Spine Holiday Shootout in the Moberly Area Conference Tournament. So um, New Bloomfield did drop that one. The boys did. Capital City Girls, they ended up losing to the St. Joseph Benton, and that was in the Jefferson Bank Holiday Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
The Cavaliers were unable to secure 5th place. This was their first ever chance at the tournament, and they did go to that 5th place game. So they walked away 6th place in the tournament. So shout out to the Capital City Girls for showing up and showing out. They did win a couple games to get there, or one game to get there. The Capital City Boys, they played Rogers, Arkansas.
Yeah.
I told you, I was so excited having all of these teams from all these different states. I mean, you had Arkansas, we had
Yeah.
Tennessee. It was just Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was just fun having
Yeah.
all these other states come to mid Missouri. And so, again, just super happy that they were able to do that this year, because last year with COVID they were not. But there's COVID protocols. Kids are still playing smart. And so I'm just really happy they were able to open this back up and let. There is my face covered in snow.
Yeah.
It was frozen on there, Dad. Frozen.
I know. I thought, wow. Again, so glad I wasn't there.
I had a fear, like I was like, I really hope I don't lose my beard over this. I did not, so thank God.
I do have to. Okay, real quick. I do have to show one other photo. We'll bring in the cuteness. The 5-month-old. He's. I think he was staying inside a little bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did come outside in the cold, but he spent most of his time inside,
Yeah.
so
Well.
that was smart on Ezra.
Absolutely. All right. Sorry to
Uh,
interrupt.
you're fine. So boys basketball, Calvary, or no, sorry, Capital City boys. They played at the Rogers, Arkansas, and they ended up losing that game 46-20.
Mm-hmm.
Rogers did. They jumped out ahead on an 8-0 run, and they
Mm-hmm.
held their lead the entire time. So just great experience to play all these other teams, and that's what this was all about, is learning experience and growing as a team and their
Mm-hmm.
chemistry. So um, next up, last game I'll highlight before I get to the main games. Boys basketball, Calvary Lutheran played Chamois. That was the Chamois Pirates. And Calvary Lutheran, they wrapped up their 2021 portion of the schedule on a 3-game winning streak, and they defeated the Chamois Pirates 52-37, and that was at Tuesday's home game. So shout out to Calvary Lutheran for finishing their 2021 portion of the schedule on a 3-game win streak as well. So shout out to them. And then, Dad, yeah, I've got three super exciting games to talk about, but I didn't know if you need to pause before I start getting into them.
Well, let me see. What kind of pause can I have? Should I just not say anything at all, or should we go ahead and do a commercial break?
That's up to you. So I just
Hey,
want to make sure I'm not interrupting you.
well, let's do a commercial break. Why don't we go ahead and bring on our sponsor, CNS Business Services, and then we'll come back because I know you're ready to go. So let's see what these guys have to say and then come back and see what you have to say. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect.
All right.
You could choose the days or shifts you work each week. You can. At CNS Business Services, they're adapting to the way people want to work. CNS is working with area employers, establishing new, innovative ways to work with flexible schedules. Flexible scheduling is designed to find employment that suits your lifestyle. Whether you're a student, a retiree, or need extra income, flexible scheduling at CNS allows you to decide when you work. Call CNS. Your schedule, you're in control. CNS Business Services.
Say yes to CNS.
All right, CNS Business Services. Again, we are so thankful for them and everything that they do. They make things tick right here in mid-Missouri, finding jobs for people and supplying the different local businesses with the staff that they need, the workforce that they need. So again, we appreciate Paula and her whole team. And Jay, we've got our friend Patty Barnhart McFeeder. She's joined us again here tonight. Patty is very faithful. And I think you're going to talk about something that she might be a little interested in here, real quick, when you get to some of this local basketball. So, why don't you go ahead and kick that off?
Awesome. So I've got to highlight this. This is from the Joe Mockins Grade 8 Classic. This was for the third place placement um, for the tournament. This is Helias Crusaders versus the Jefferson City Jays, and they're playing for third place in the tournament. Obviously, if you're from mid-Missouri, if you're not, this is a long-standing crosstown rivalry. I love when Helias gets to play the Jays. I just love the energy and the atmosphere that follows games like this. And I'm gonna tell you what, the Crusaders jumped out to a 20-3 lead. That's 2-0 to 3, 20-3 lead, and the Jays could have spiraled out of control. Um, but they didn't. That was just in
Right.
the first quarter, 20-3. Jefferson City fought hard and came all the way back and tied Helias in the fourth quarter, 49 all. Epic game. I hear that the energy was just through the roof. The
Oh, yeah.
atmosphere was going wild, and in the final 4 minutes of the game, Helias did outscore the Jays by 7 points, and they won 67-60. And so
Yeah.
Helias did win, but what a comeback by the Jays. Way to go, Helias, to shut that down and
Wow.
finish the game strong. But when you're up 17 and the other team can come back and tie it, that can kill. That's a huge momentum killer. And so
That'll
I
shut it
was,
down.
oh, that'll shut it down huge. So, I mean, when you go 49 all in the fourth quarter, it's anyone's game. The Jays just ended up getting gassed there at the end, and
Hmm.
they could not pull it out. Quick update on their schedule: Jefferson City is sitting at 5-5, and they will be off until the Kaminsky Classic starts this Thursday, and so and that'll be in Joplin. Helias is sitting at 4-6, and they host Father Tolton this coming Thursday. So
Uh,
Father Tolton will be going to Helias this Thursday. That is a game you're going to want to
that's going to
watch.
be a good game.
Um, Heading into quick update on Father Tolton. They did finish fifth in this classic, the Joe Mockins Classic 8 tournament. Um, what was his name? Jaren Porter, the 6'9" senior.
Hmm.
He put on a show in that last game. I think he dunked the ball about 6 different times, and they said that, I mean, it was just monster dunks too. So he
probably a
put on a
little,
show. Yeah.
probably a little upset that he wasn't getting to play in the championship games there. So that might have been.
Oh, that probably was a motivating factor. But
Let
if
me just
anyone
make
was there and got,
Let me just make some posters of some people.
yeah, yeah, if anyone was there and got to watch that, I hear it was very entertaining. So Father Tolton puts on a very entertaining show. So I always love when when our teams get to play against Father Tolton. Next game I want to talk about, I'm sticking with it. The crosstown rivalries, Helias versus the Jays. This is the Lady Crusaders and the Lady Jays playing for the Holiday Hoops title. This is for the championship, baby. Now, this is very familiar territory for the Crusaders. The Lady Jays had rallied from a 7-point deficit to take a 51-49 lead against the Crusaders in the fourth quarter. And that was at Wednesday's title game at the Jefferson City Hoops Tournament, Holiday Hoops Tournament. And this was hosted at the Capital City High School. This was the third time in 3 tournament games that the Lady Crusaders had trailed in the fourth quarter, but yet they rallied to beat the St. Joseph Benton 41-31, and that was in Monday's opening game. They then used a big run on Tuesday night to sprint past the Blue Springs South 60-46 in the semifinals. And then the Lady Crusaders had one more run in them, and they finished off winning the championship in the final 8 points, and they defeated Jeff City 57-51. Helias and Jeff City meet again on February 21st at the CMAC contest at Rackers Fieldhouse. Both teams resume action tomorrow. Helias at Rolla and Jefferson City at Sedalia Smith Cotton.
There's
So,
there's
wow.
just going to be some good games. I mean, both the boys and the girls. I mean, you talk about, okay, we had a great win there, but oh no, we got to go and play them again here pretty soon. So,
Yep.
you have close games like that. You know that the 2 teams that came up on the short end, they're going to be ready to come out and make a little bit of noise right here in mid Missouri.
Yeah, so Helias the Lady Crusaders did win that tournament, and so major props to them. But the Lady Jays were a formidable foe, and they were fighting till the end. So I just love that. I love when it's not a big blowout either way, and you
Yeah.
just get good basketball. It's good camaraderie. It's good chemistry. It's just good all the way around. So very exciting that Helias got to play the Jays for the girls and the boys. I thought that was cool the way the
Yeah.
brackets fell.
Absolutely. Well, you got the big one coming, right?
I do.
You got the big one. Do you need a drum roll?
Sure. Give me a drum roll.
Okay. Just rattled my thing, everything jumping around. You didn't hear it? Well, that's okay. Good.
No, I didn't hear the trumpet in the back, but that's fine.
I was not doing the trumpet. You were the master of the trumpet. I'm not going to do that one.
Oh, man. So here we go. Blair Oaks, as we talked about last week, beat Father Tolton, which was a huge win for Blair Oaks. Heading into this tournament, head coach Ryan Fick, all he wanted was just the Falcons to make it to the winner's bracket. He didn't want to lose that first game. And he's like, as long as we can go to the winner's side, I just want to see what we can do. Blair Oaks has never won the Joe Mawkins Classic 8 tournament. They've been playing in it for a decade now. This was their 10th time playing in the Joe Mawkins Great 8 Classic tournament. Well, I'll tell you this. They can now claim that they've won the tournament. They are the champions. They did go on to win all 3 of their games. Their third game was up against Tulsa Union from Oklahoma. It's the Red Hawks, and they won 67-60. Blair Oaks entered that fourth quarter trailing 50-46, down 4. Luckily for the Falcons, they have proven to be a fourth quarter team all season. In Wednesday's championship game, let me give you some fun stats. Blair Oaks committed 14 turnovers in the first 3 quarters.
Wow.
They didn't commit any in the final 8 minutes. So they cleaned it up. They cleaned it up huge especially when the game counted. In the fourth quarter, they shot 11 of 12 from the free throw line. 11 of 12 from the free throw line. They made 7 in a row to finish the game. And while the Falcons had a pair of all-state players on the court, the fourth quarter was a balanced scoring effort. 5 players put up points, and no player accounted for more than 6 of the team's 21 points. So when I was reading, I know it said like Henry. I think he had like 13 points altogether in the game. Zach Henry. I mean, it was just an awesome game
Yeah.
from really everyone. The whole
Hmm.
team stepped up, and that whole I love getting to see these stats because I'm not there at the game. I don't get to be there, which is so sad for me. And so I love being able to feel like I get to live there and envision these games where you have Blair Oak struggling down going into the fourth quarter, and they rallied huge, cleaned up the mess. That's just shout out to the players. That shout out to the
Hmm.
coaches for calling the right plays. And I mean, they just had an awesome game. Um, as you all know, they beat Father Tolton to go to the second game, and that was where they played Helias, and they beat Helias 73-61, and that's how they got into that championship game to
Hmm.
go against the Redhawks. So very, very exciting. Blair Oaks is now ranked number 2 in Class 4. They are 9-1 for the season, and they actually host Class 1's number 6 team, St. Elizabeth, and that's tomorrow.
Okay, that's going
Um,
to be a good game.
Ryan Fix said winning this tournament was a big deal for the Blair Oaks community, as the Falcons had not finished higher than sixth place in their first 9 appearances in the Grade 8 Classic. So,
That's a huge accomplishment, and
yep.
I know Coach Fick was fired up. I know he was fired up. I saw some video of him and uh, him and the coaching staff and the fans. Of course, they were absolutely fired up about that win. So congratulations, Blair Oaks. That was a great win.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. So, yeah,
one thing I wanted to add real quick. We had done a interview with Thomas McCauley, and he was named to the grade 8 all academic team. So I just wanted to do a shout out to Thomas and great job there, buddy. That was, you know, basketball is going to last for just a period of time, as we well know, and
yeah.
then it's time to move on to the real world. And he's making an impact in the real world right now as far as his academics and getting prepared for the future. So again, great job, Thomas. Okay,
That's awesome.
just had to
That
do a
is
shout
great.
out for him.
No, absolutely. That's fun. I didn't even know that. That's a fun fact. So yeah, like I told you guys, basketball was going to be awesome last week, and it was. Hopefully, you guys were able to follow. If not, I was going to recap it. So I'm glad you had faith in me and trusted me that I had your back on that. So yeah, it was a great week of basketball, and I'm excited to see how 2022 is going to kick off this week. We've got, like I talked about, several teams going to some tournaments this week, and it's going to be another fun week of basketball.
Yep. Hey, and talking about 2022, we're getting ready to kick back into some of our interviews, having some of the student athletes coming on with us, and it was a little difficult during the holidays to be able to pull in some of the kids. You would think that they're not doing anything, but the reality is they're just all over the place during the holidays. So we'll be kicking that off again this next week, and we've got a pretty good lineup coming up, and even a surprise one. I think it's going to be on the 17th, and we'll fill you in on that a little bit later. Just a little tease for you. So anyway, continue on. You don't even know Jay Gill.
Yeah, I never know.
I
I
know.
show up to these things completely blind, and I just say, "You roll those cameras, Dad. I'm ready."
All
Whatever.
right.
I just use my improv skills.
And you do great at it.
I'm a
You do a
I'm a
great job.
master of the improv.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I was pretty excited this weekend. There was a lot of good football games going on. I don't know where everyone is at in their understanding where NFL is at, but we've got 1 week left. Well, tonight's game, and then 1 week left
Hmm.
for Week 18 NFL football, and we still don't know all the teams that are going to the playoffs.
No, no. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something that's going to be kind of fun and unique here. This is going to be the fastest 5 minutes in NFL football starting now. Jay Gill. The fastest 5 minutes in NFL football with Jay Gill. There you go.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It means I got 5 minutes, folks. Okay, so NFC, Green Bay, they clinch the number 1 seed. They are the number 1 seed in the NFL. in the NFC, so they do not have to play their first game bye week. They do not have to play wild card weekend. Uh, Other teams that have clinched are the Los Angeles Rams, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, Philadelphia Eagles, and then, like I said, the Green Bay Packers. So that's 6 teams that have spotted, have got their spot. There's only one spot left, and 2 teams remained. It's going to be either the San Francisco 49ers or the New Orleans Saints. The Saints can only make it in if they win and the 49ers lose. The Niners will clinch if they win, or if both of them lose. If the Niners lose and the Saints lose, the Niners still make it in. So the NFC is pretty much wrapped up, and that is one of the strongest. That is the strongest conference in the NFL. The AFC, on the other hand, the number 1 spot is still up in the air. There are 2 wild card spots still up in the air, and so there's so much going on with this next weekend. It's just trying to figure out what's going to happen. In the best case scenario, the eventual winner of the AFC will be a team that has lost at least 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the best case scenario. If that happens, they will be tied for the most losses for an AFC's top team since the NFL began the seeding process in 1975.
I was going to say it's been a long time, and it's been wacky on the AFC side.
Very wacky. Wacky is a very appropriate term.
Thank you.
The worst case scenario is where the Chiefs and the Titans both lose because they're the only team that has only 5 losses left. They both lose, and then whatever winner is chosen between the Chiefs, Titans, and Bengals, it'll be the number 1 seed with 6 losses, which is a record. Never happened before in the NFL. So I'm really hoping the worst case scenario doesn't happen because my Chiefs happen to be a part of that.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen like that. They would probably drop from the number 2 to the number 3 seed then.
That is a fact, because they don't have the tiebreaker against the Titans or the Bengals.
Right.
So teams that have clinched so far: the Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, and the New England Patriots. That leaves 2 spots open and 5 teams fighting for a spot. So the 5 teams fighting are the Indianapolis Colts, and they have an 85% chance. The Los Angeles Chargers, 58% chance. The Las Vegas Raiders, 51% chance. That's 3 teams over 50% chance. That blows my mind. I'm excited.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are at 4% chance, and the Baltimore Ravens are at 2% chance, which going into this season, everyone had the Ravens projected to even win the entire AFC.
Right.
And now they only have a 2% chance to even make the playoffs when there really isn't a chance. Like, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just in a crazy meltdown.
Their record would be what? Wouldn't their record be 8-7-1? Wouldn't that be their record if they made it in there?
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. Same for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about the Steelers. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, and if the Steelers, they have to win tonight to even have a chance next week. If they lose tonight, they're out completely. And that game's going on right now. I do want to talk about real quick. I don't know how you're going to feel about it, Dad. The Tennessee Titans. Real quick, I know 5 fastest minutes of football.
You are
Tennessee
good.
Titans. Now, they have the highest chance of becoming the number 1 seed. All they have to do is beat Houston on Sunday, and they are the number 1 seed. Under Mike Vrabel, since 2018, they've had 4 consecutive winning seasons. They've had 3 trips to the playoffs, 2 consecutive division titles now that they've locked up this one. In the 9 seasons before Mike Vrabel got there, they made the playoffs 1 time. So when I'm telling you, a head coach can make the difference in the world, and he brings in the right players and he puts in the right mechanics and the right plays, it makes a huge difference. So shout out to, even if I don't like him that much because he beats my Chiefs every now and then, shout out to Mike Vrabel. He has put together an amazing first 4 years as the Tennessee Titans head coach. So I can't believe the fact that they've lost Derrick Henry. They've had a lot of injuries come to them. Derrick Henry being their number one player, who they relied on to get 200 rushing yards every. They just adapted, changed, and they've still won some football games. And they're going to be the number one seed if they beat the Texans. So
Yeah.
shout out to the Titans. You
Hey, I got a
can't knock it.
quick question, fun fact. See if you know
Bring it.
this. See how knowledgeable you are.
Oh,
Who was the Tennessee Titans before they became the Tennessee Titans?
you talking about the Houston Oilers?
Yes, sir. You did it. Good job.
Thank you.
You
Thank
didn't.
you.
You didn't sound very confident, but you did it.
Oh yes. Oh yes. My football knowledge does go back a little bit of ways. I'm sure I could get beaten by Ryan Olsen. You can't
I'm
bring that guy
sure.
into any
I'm
conversation.
sure.
He dominates it all. But yeah, I did know that. I did know that. That's because one of the Mannings played for that team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Would it have been the dad?
Archie
Hmm.
Manning. Yeah.
I don't.
If I'm mistaken, I'm mistaken. But I really think he did. That's the only reason I know that.
Okay. You did good.
Hmm. Fun
You
fact.
got look how. As a matter of fact, you close it out on one final comment, and then you close out this program because we are at the end. So you did good.
Okay.
That was a
Thank
fast
you.
5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. The only other thing in football world, if you didn't get to watch it, Antonio Brown did have a meltdown mid-game. Um, one of the first times in history a player had taken off his jersey, shoulder pads, his undershirt, took his gloves off, threw them into the stands, and while the other teams were on the field, like the offense and defense, the team was on the field, he walked out and like just across the middle of the field,
I
went in
did
the end
jumping
zone,
jacks.
did some
Wade.
jumping jacks, made New York do some shout out, and he walked off. So yeah, it was totally crazy, and Antonio Brown is done with the Buccaneers. Some
Yep.
say he might be done with the NFL, period, but you never know. The guy's
Right.
still super talented. He just he had some things going on, and he
Yeah.
decided to leave the game. If you didn't get to watch that footage, go check it out. It's very rare and not something
Entertaining.
you're gonna. It's entertaining, not something you're gonna see very often in the NFL. So
Yeah.
yeah, Antonio Brown with another meltdown on another NFL team. This is
Yeah.
team number 4,
Is it
team number
4?
5 meltdown. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Not good.
anyways,
All right.
not good.
Not good. I mean,
But anyways,
that's hard to put that on your resume going to another team. I'm just telling you.
it really is. It really is. But folks, yeah, like Kirk said, that's the end of the show. Hope you guys had a fun time. Love talking about the local sports hot takes with you. Love talking about NFL football. I'm very excited for the last week next week. Like Kirk said, we're going to be having some of our guests back on the show. We're very excited to sit down with coaches, student athletes, athletic directors, you name it. We're just excited to sit down and start talking sports with some other people besides just
We're
us.
even
But
going to bring on somebody here in the future that we're going to be talking about some pro wrestling, right?
we absolutely
Yeah.
will be. We don't have a date set on that, but we will be talking some professional wrestling,
There you go.
and we're going to be kicking it old school. I'm talking 80s, 90s throwback wrestling show. So if you have
I can have a little knowledge on a little bit of that, but you guys are
there
going to
you
have
go.
to, I'm not going to do my macho man impersonation right now, but we might save that for later.
You will during the show. It's just
Oh
gonna come out.
yeah.
It's just, oh yeah, brother. It's just gonna be natural. I'm super excited for that show because what can I say? We love to have fun.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
anyways, we absolutely love you guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight and watching. You know what you guys need to do. Like our page, share it, comment. If you have any questions or fun facts or things you want to throw at us, never hesitate. We love when you guys interact with us. But yeah, we love being here every Monday night at 7 p.m. So yeah, tune in every week, and we're going to keep bringing you guys great content.
All right, I got a Shelly shirts came on. Step into a Slim Jim.
Step into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Great.
Shelly's going to love that show. I'll tell you that right
Yeah,
now.
that's right. She will.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, this is One Nation and SLM Extra. I'm your co-host Jay, and I love you guys so much. Have a great week. God bless.
Hey guys, God bless you. We'll see you next week.